Good afternoon.
I was just testing to see if you were listening.
No, she called it. I was checking.
So good afternoon and welcome to the meeting. I want to direct your attention to the sign up.
Oh, the sign up's over here. Yeah.
Well, there's one there and
Sign up.
there's one there. Oh, sign up to become a member, membership sign up. So there's one here and one there and
And
one
then, yeah, the
there.
sign in, which is just for everyone who's here today, if you can sign in so we are up tracking who's at the meetings.
Okay, and there's also name tags and, well,
Excuse me, could you introduce yourself, please?
I was trying not to. Okay. So, my name is Lenora. I'm an ally. You can call me, today you can call me Lee. Yeah, you like Lee? I've been my name for many, many decades. And I am so sick of hearing my name. So each day I wake up and I say, oh, now I know why Prince did that. There comes a time. So welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm going to give you an overview. Who are we? Wait a minute. So this is my native voyage. So do I read all of that?
You can just read like the major things on the chapter. Overview and then.
Oh, okay. So in the overview, we're going to learn who are we, how to become a member, and for campaigns, for updates, we'll talk about ICE rapid response training, member onboarding, tenant organizing, and 161 Jamaica. Today we're going to have some guest speakers from Brazil's landless workers movement.
Yeah, so we're gonna have to like be kind of quick because they're joining via Zoom at 1:30. So.
Any questions about the agenda? I can be quick. Okay. So, who are we? We are a group of tenants, homeowners, community activists, lawyers, organized to permanently remove land and housing from the private market, bringing it under democratic community ownership. Any questions?
No.
Who said no?
Me.
What are we fighting for? Tenant ownership, community-controlled neighborhoods, and city-wide and statewide policy change. Okay. In 2024, we made history. We were the first CLT to successfully become owners of a building. Okay. And the tenants in this building will become owners of their apartments. Yeah.
And we're hoping to keep doing more tenant takeover campaigns like this, right? And yeah, hopefully get that figured out.
Membership. Membership benefits. You can vote on important matters. You can help with strategic planning. You can help make amendments, and you can direct campaigns. There's free trainings. You can also join the WhatsApp group. You can become a member. And if you become a member, you can pay dues. You can attend general membership meetings and join at least one committee or coalition. Ally members, I'm an ally member. I don't live in East New York. Are there any other ally members? Okay. Any potential ally members? Thank you.
What about community
Yeah,
members?
what are you doing?
Any community members?
Say it again.
Any community members? Okay. Now, one of us pays dues. and one of us doesn't pay dues.
Well, actually,
Yeah, they both pay dues. One pay, one votes,
I
the other
was
doesn't.
just checking. So allies pay dues, but we can't vote.
any questions about membership?
When do you take one due for the whole year, or you take in increments?
So dues are monthly, and it's sliding scale. Well, right now we have the option to pay annually, but soon we're going to transition to do it all monthly because it's easier. It's sliding scale, so it's from $5 to $40 a month, depending on what people can afford. There's also an option to opt out of paying because we want everyone to be members even if they're unable to pay. So these QR codes will take you to the form where you can select your sliding scale amount and just put in like your name and information, and you submit that, and that's how you become a member. And yeah, and then that means everything Lenora shared. It means like you're able to vote on our campaigns and like things we work on as an organization. Get access to like trainings and events that we do, and yeah, that's how we.
And the WhatsApp.
The WhatsApp group, yeah, it's always super active, yeah.
And committees. You
Yes,
can serve on
and
committees as well.
participating in committees, which we'll talk about later in the meeting. And yeah, this is how we're like building this movement, right? We like need members, members are the ones who like run the organization and make the work happen, so.
And you get to meet some really terrific people. You get to get up early on Saturday morning. There's a lot of learning. There's something for everybody. So come for the fun of learning. Come to meet very interested people. And this is me right here. If you're interested in becoming a member, stay for a few minutes after the meeting, and we'll help you sign up, or once again, scan the QR codes. But whatever you do, do it. Do it just for the heck of it. It's like, I've never done this before. Today is the day I'm gonna try something new. Just do it.
Cool, thanks Lenora.
Hello everyone. Hi, I'm Sharice Richards, or you can call me Reese, and I'm a new member. I live in East New York. I'll be doing the updates. Okay, so we have an event in about 4 weeks. I don't know if there's a link. Oh yeah, Richard's link will go out after the meeting, so look out for that. And yeah, I'd love to see you there.
Any questions about this ICE Know Your Rights thing? Okay, yeah, everyone, that's the time and place, and we'll send something out.
Okay, 2 weeks ago we had our session 2 of 3 sessions. The session 2 member onboarding, I was there, anybody, who else was there? Okay, very nice. Anybody wanna share out some of the things you did, some of the turn and talks, role playing, practicing, like talking to people, getting them to join, anything like that.
I know you guys were there, yeah.
You made new friends?
Yes, we made friends. Yeah, it was nice to get to know everybody. It was like what is it, 25 of us? It was a nice group. And we learned, I was just going over my notes, we learned like the different acronyms. We learned to dance, like intro, instigate.
Oh yeah.
I forgot the steps on like talking to people, getting them, getting tenants involved and getting them to advocate for themselves. And it was, yeah.
Amalia, could you quickly explain what the purpose of the onboarding membership is?
Yeah, so you can see like this slide outlines a little the content in each of the sessions, but this is something we're planning to do every year moving forward for all CLT members, both new and existing members. And the idea is to like ground ourselves in why this work is important, like what's the history of this neighborhood and the conditions, like how have the conditions been created around housing and land, and why are we fighting, and to also like have the space for us to kind of like set our North Star as an organization and decide like, you know, how do we want to do this work together, and also just like bond, get to know each other, and yeah, keep like developing strong leaders in the organization. So,
Yeah, and yeah, we have our next and last one is in 4 weeks. Oh no, 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Yeah, Saturday after next. And yeah, we hope to see you there. I will leave this up for another minute or so if you want me to scan the QR code.
I think a lot of people have RSVP'd already.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, is there any, I thought there was one more, is there one more slide?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's right. So we have 3 committees, and we're going to I'm just gonna say each one, and then the chair or someone else will talk about the committee, any committee updates. So first up, Land and Anti-Speculation Committee.
Ivy, yeah. We're kind of putting people on the spot here, but.
No, I was not expecting that. But hi y'all, my name is Ivy. I'm an allied member. Unfortunately, I don't live in East New York, but I believe in the mission of East New York.
Welcome.
Thank you. Yeah, so recently we chatted with our friends from City College. They did a lot of great research for some of the landlords we were looking into, and they gave us some really nice tea on some of the landlords we were looking into. So we might, you know, knock on some doors and get people riled up that are in some of those buildings. But yeah, if you want to interact with tenants, do some door knocking, you know, if you're like FBI on the side and you know how to investigate somebody on Facebook, we would love for y'all to join so you can do some research, we can get people active, and you know, help people out. So yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Next up, policy advocacy and organizing.
I know Brianna isn't here, but is anyone else here in this committee and wants to just like share what you've been working on? I don't know if anyone. Oh.
I haven't been. Good morning,
Hey,
everyone.
Tammy, I
My
didn't
name
see
is
you.
Miss Green, Tammy Green. I'm just chilling in the back, but I'm not on any of the committees, but I just want to give a big shout out to Brianna because I experienced door knocking with her for the very first time a couple of times last year, and she's totally awesome in entering buildings and just informing people about their options and what power that they have and how to take back that power. And as far as organizing, everyone kind of know my story, fighting the speculators for the home that I'm living in. She really helped me organize my paperwork, my court documents, and just organizing a strategy to try to find out who these Eny-Clt brothers were. And along with the East New York, she did a great job in advocating for me. So she put that into that, and I'm just testifying of the great work that she does.
All right.
Well, yeah, Brianna's the point of contact if anyone is interested in diving more into like the policy campaigns that we're working on. That's the committee where we're doing that.
Yes, and last but not least, community education and organizing.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Deborah, member, co-founder of the East New York CLT. The Community Education and Organizing Committee update. We are looking to organize and spread the word about 161 Jamaica Avenue. We are and will purchase 161, which is a couple of days now. But we need to let the community know exactly what it is that we want to do with this space, because they're our neighbors and we want them to also be involved. We're also still looking to do fundraising for the 161 Jamaica Avenue. So what we'll be doing is, if you're interested, contact me. I can't remember the date off the top of my head. forgive me, but, we're gonna, do some tabling at, Gateway Junction. And we're going to be giving out pamphlets, tripos on the CLT, what the CLT is, the movement, and we're also gonna be speaking about 161 Jamaica Avenue. I believe it's a Saturday, April, May. I'll tell you the date as soon as I find it, but we're gonna be doing that. Also, community education and organizing. We're currently working on our 2026 soiree. So we'll, when we get the information together, we'll let you know, but if anybody's interested, please come out and join. I'm also a part of the Jewel Streets, which falls underneath the community education and organizing. People who don't know what the Jewel Streets is, it's on Google Maps now. It used to be the Hole. So if you type in the Hole on Google Maps, it automatically changes to the Jewel Streets, and we're so proud of that. You know. So if you're interested and you want more information, come see me.
Thank you, Gary.
Again, if you're interested in any of the committees, you can again talk to the chairs or someone after. Thank you.
Cool, thanks, Grace. Okay. So I can give a quick update on tenant organizing. This is like one of the buckets of work that we do. Try to empower tenants in the community to stand up to landlords that are, predatory, that are raising rents or not taking care of their buildings. And we also have like this ultimate goal of maybe in buildings where tenants are interested in it, moving towards doing takeover campaigns so people can like own their apartments and have that long-term housing stability. And we've been kind of like making our way through the neighborhood, talking to tenants and seeing where there's like appetite for getting organized. And these are the 4 main ones where I've been working with tenants lately. Ocean Hill, you guys have been hearing about for a while. It's a cluster of 4 buildings not far from here, on Eastern Parkway and Pacific Street. And we've been meeting like since October, and they recently met with Shantanu and Hannah to like talk about this option of doing a takeover. Like now that they've got some repairs done and they've been organized for a while, seeing if they're interested in doing an acquisition. So it seemed like there was interest at that meeting, and we're gonna like keep having those conversations and seeing if that's something that they want to fight for. 767 Blake, where Stephanie used to live actually. We've also been meeting. They just came up with their demands for the landlord, and those are being sent out. Will be sent out probably this week, and we'll see, where we go from there. Chestnut Tenants Union, these like notorious giant management company called Chestnut Holdings. They have a lot of buildings uptown, and there's been a lot of campaigns against them in other buildings. And they also just sent demands, so, we're bringing in a 3rd building. So we'll also see where we get with those demands. And then finally, 255 or 257 Penn, which we have Marie here from the building, hey. We just kind of like started in that building, having conversations. We had an initial meeting, and we're hoping to like get some traction going and keep meeting. That's, I think, the tenant organizing update. And if anyone is interested in like getting more involved with tenant organizing and coming and like door knocking or helping facilitate tenant meetings, reach out to me, and I would love to like bring more members into that work too.
I just want to ask a question.
Yeah.
I know you said something Pacific Street. I want to know if there's an area where you don't go, or if you anywhere.
Oh.
Could you repeat the question?
Yeah, if there's a specific area that we go, or if it's everywhere in East New York, like how we're choosing where to go.
Thanks.
Yeah. So yeah, we do have, like, as a CLT, we have a catchment area that's East New York, Brownsville, and Ocean Hill. So those are the neighborhoods where we door knock. Yeah.
So where I live,
Mhm.
every now and then, because I have been living here for over 20 years.
Mhm.
And the pattern I see is somebody gets old and they're missing after a while. And, then what I see is people start coming over time.
Mhm.
And then after time, you find out you're the new owner. But there's never anybody, the house is just being gutted out now and fixed and new people coming in.
Yeah.
And that has been a pattern.
Yeah. Right.
And, I don't have all the information, so I wouldn't make a public speech about what I do see.
Mhm.
But, it just looks so shady and unfair and
Yeah.
I never ever get to, once I spoke to one of the relatives and they were like, we couldn't do anything, you know, they come in and they got their documents, but it just felt like one of those seizure where somebody comes in and literally takes
Yeah.
premises.
Yeah.
So, I would like to get that information, but I don't have something right now, because, you know, saying that, but my street, I would really like somebody to, some door knocking.
Okay, yeah,
In
well,
that neighborhood.
we should talk and we can go to your building
We'll
and
def-
talk
we'll
to
definitely.
people. Have other people seen that happen in their buildings or their neighborhoods where?
I don't live in the building,
Oh, okay.
I have my home on the
Okay.
same street.
Oh, I see,
But
okay.
the adjoining street, I
Yeah.
can see this happening.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
black and white.
Have other people seen this where it seems like people are being displaced or maybe elders are like leaving their apartments and then apartments are being renovated and prices are going up and new people being brought in from out of the neighborhood? Are other people seeing that happen?
Sorry, I missed it. I missed the question.
So yeah, sorry, that was a long question. But yeah, where like people are being pushed out of their apartments or evicted or leaving their apartments and then those apartments are being renovated and the price raised and new people brought in who can afford to pay the new prices from like out of the neighborhood. Are people seeing that happen? Cause I think it's, yes, okay, yeah. Because it is like a pattern and so yeah, and I think it is really important to intervene and that's like, yeah, part of our work is stopping that displacement by making sure people like know about their rights and are organized. So yeah, if you let me know what building that is, we can door knock together. Yeah.
Yes, I have seen it. There's a lot of tenants that really are not familiar with their rights or where to go.
Yeah.
And since, you know, there's a hotline for legal aid,
Mhm.
but they never answer. And so these people feel like they're just left hanging,
Mhm.
having to go back to the, so is there a resource that CLT has that can assist some of those tenants that's going through that, you know, with at least some kind of legal assistance?
You mean like if people are at risk of eviction? Or?
Yeah, well, they're being evicted, or some
Yeah.
folks, I've seen a lot of folks that have gotten a marshal notice because
Yeah.
they don't understand the 30-day, 90-day
Yeah.
and stuff, so they really don't know what to do, and then here it is the final day, and it's like, well, so what's about to happen here?
Yeah.
That's the last step, and people really need to get educated as to what are the steps and how they need to be moving. So
Yeah.
as an organization, CLT, is there a process that you have, let's say, that we can give to someone? This would also help the membership. If you help somebody in a situation like that,
Mhm.
that would definitely, you know, show some loyalty and want to be in that place where someone else doesn't have to go through that.
Yeah. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, just like to share, right, like right to counsel in housing is still a thing in New York City, but funding is limited. I always recommend just calling 311 and say that you want to speak to a tenant hotline, and they'll connect you usually with Department of Social Services, and they will match you to a lawyer. However, you usually have to already be in housing court, so it's not preventative, it's reactive, you know? So if there are, the best thing to do is like really get into tenant organizing so that you can be paired with a tenant advocate, so that you can learn yourself how to advocate in those spaces. Just because legal resources have become really underfunded in the city. But I would say, check out Just Fix It is a website that has a lot of resources that can help you like create rent demands or create like repair demand templates for you. And so there are like a lot of online resources. So that's always, so that's a really great resource. And I know we've been doing the tenant rights trainings as well and like how to get support. But if you do end up in housing court, call 311, always ask the judge for an adjournment, say that you're seeking counsel and they will grant you an adjournment. The important thing is to make sure that you show for your court appearance.
Another resource is, I know Councilmember Nurse at her office is working with individuals when it comes to housing evictions or anything really. You should always be reaching out to your council members.
Yes.
Reach out to Councilmember Nurse, also Councilmember Banks.
Yeah.
37 and 42. That's what they're there for. That's what they're there.
Yeah.
And I just want to ask you too, I just got a flyer that Assemblyman Eric Eny is also offering services coming up this month in May for anybody who's facing eviction, deed theft fraud, and you know, anything that's involved in displacing tenants or home owners from their home. So check out Eric Delon's website. He just put up a flyer, I think yesterday, concerning that. So that's my first time seeing the Assemblyman do that, so I think that's a great thing that they're jumping in on the hard work that you guys put in.
Nice, thank you guys.
That's why.
Yeah.
That was you thinking loud.
Melanie,
Yeah.
Like, not to say, I'm Melanie, by the way. I'm a member technically, but I haven't like been involved in like a group chats yet. But anyways, I would say to that, yes, it's related to the election because Eric doesn't really do anything and he hasn't for like all these years.
Yes.
And also he takes a lot of money from real estate, so it's a bit like contradictory. But not saying to like not take advantage of resources if you have them,
Right.
but I would just be, I don't know, just be cautious.
You said that he takes a lot of money from real estate.
Like real
developers.
estate, yeah.
Okay, you know that for a fact?
For
Okay,
sure.
no, just, you know.
No, it's to verify, yeah, for a fact it is.
Okay, well, thanks everyone. What a beautiful example of all the collective knowledge and resources that we have. And I would also add that we, you know, as a CLT, we work with Take Root Justice too, you know, to a degree. So yeah, so we have relationships with some of those lawyers, and sometimes when I'm organizing in a building, if tenants are like at risk of being evicted, I'll connect them with the lawyers who can support them. So that's another option. Cool, so we're gonna move on to share some updates about 161 Jamaica, which is right there and which we shouted out earlier. Yeah, I'll pass over to Sean now.
Hello everyone.
Hey.
Hey. My name's Sean Tanu. I am a staff member alongside Amalia, Jacob, and Hannah, CLT. I'm a project manager. So I know Deb started talking about 161 Jamaica a bit earlier, but to bring, who here's here for the first time? All of you guys at the end have to sign up before you leave. We're gonna lock the doors, else you can't. Anyway, so yeah, Deb started talking about 161 Jamaica, kind of like the next project that we've started taking on after 240 Arlington. Next, I don't want to say the next building acquisition project that we're taking on, but as everyone is very familiar, East New York is like really at the right on the border of this like booming like gentrification, this gentrification boom, right? Bushwick, Bed-Stuy, Flatbush, Crown Heights is all getting like scooped up, right? And starting to like peek into East New York, right? We saw Broadway Junction rezoning, the East New York rezoning, all this development going up. So obviously a lot of what CLT is doing is trying to have community control. A lot of that work so far has been focused on Jewel Streets, for example. A lot of the great work that Deb has been doing for Jewel Streets. Clap for Deb. 248 Arlington, which is our first acquisition. Multifamily property, 21 units, not too far from here on Arlington, Cleveland. We're going to convert it, 21 low-income, moderate-income households into permanently affordable co-op. So we've hit all of some of these like points, but like next thing is also having like space for the community to organize. Lots of local businesses have obviously been priced out. Has there been like, for any community members here, have you guys seen like some of your favorite like local businesses get like priced out, bicked out, right?
Maxwell's.
Maxwell's, maybe, bunch of others, right? So, you know, the rising rents aren't just a problem for the apartments, right? It's also a huge problem for, you know, the fabric of the neighborhood, right? So, this is where 161 Jamaica comes in. You know, we've been looking for, I mean, look at this room right now, like every seat is filled up, basically. We keep expanding, and we need new space for the CLT, right? I think, you know, a year and a half ago there was 1 staff member, now we have 4. Expecting that to continue growing. Expecting our membership to continue growing rapidly. I mean, the amount of new hands I just saw, right? We have a goal of 100, 150 new members a year. I don't know if we could fit 100 new members in this room, but we could at 161 Jamaica. Right? So, you know, we had been looking for a little bit of time to find like a really perfect building that would be able to house us, house CLT, but also other local businesses where co-ops have space for events, for workshops, ICE defense training, political education, a lot of these things that the community is needed, right? Beyond just housing, beyond just environmental work. And we got lucky to find this incredible building at 161 Jamaica, literally a couple doors down, which I think some folks here might be pretty familiar with. I know lots of folks have had maybe like events here at this building, like growing up, like birthday parties, other parties, whatever. It used to be a party rental, right? I could see some nods. Maybe keep the memories in here. Don't share them out loud. But yeah, I mean, that's another thing. It was on the private market. This was the potential for another building to get raised and redeveloped by some private landlord. It was on the private market. It recently got rezoned to R4. They could have raised it down, built up some luxury building, but CLT decided to step in to help take it, preserve it, and turn it into something in the community. So,
one second, you said it got rezoned to a what?
It's right now it's zoned, or maybe it wasn't rezoned, but it was part of the Broadway Junction rezoning to R4. So it could have been like 3, I think it's like 2 to 3 or 3 to 4 stories of, I think it's capped at 3 or 4 stories.
Okay.
Yeah, and it would have just been apartments, could have been luxury apartments, something that
We can't afford.
And then we can have, yeah, and you know, or they could say it's affordable and it's like 160 MI. Anyways, so that was very long-winded. But we signed a purchase and sale agreement with the seller back in December of 2025. And for these past few months and the next 2 months, we've been working on doing the fundraising and making sure we can get the financing in order so that we can actually purchase the building. We're going to do something very similar to what we did with 248 Arlington, which we won't be discussing today, which is to do a lot of fundraising and getting low interest and no interest investments from you know, local investors or investors in the city who want to be charitable or whatever, different foundations. The goal is really to make sure we're able to get as much of this essentially free money to make sure the building isn't encumbered with debt, which makes it affordable for the local businesses and co-ops in it, so that their rents will be, you know, very low and it'll be easy to.
Is there tenants in it right now?
Right now it's vacant. So the previous landlord used it partially as office space, but also for like some like light manufacturing to make its cabinets and stuff. But, yeah. Right now it's vacant though. Okay, so I said all that, but as I mentioned, we have, so back in September, some of you might remember we voted, the CLT members voted to move forward. The idea is to have this be a democratic process, right? December 2025, complete negotiations over the price to make sure that it was, a fair price, and it is like well below market. And now we're doing all this fundraising now, from December to, it says 1 month, it's about 1 to 2 months, to make sure that we'll be able to purchase. It's a $2.3 million purchase, making sure we have all the funding for that. And hopefully in May and June, it'll be fully community owned. And once it is, there will be doing lots of visioning reports, as Deb mentioned, making sure we get community input into what folks want to see in the building, kind of programming, all this stuff. So, it is go time. We have 1 to 2 months. We've been doing a lot of work for the last couple months, making sure, but we still have some ways to go. This is just about what's completely in hand or committed. There's a lot of other funding and financing that we're in conversation to, but we don't want to overcommit to put on it. But there's like hundreds of thousands of dollars that we're still hoping to get commitments for soon. But we're about 60-ish% of the way there right now. About 60%, not bad.
I think that's great.
Great. A lot of work to do still. So we're still doing a lot of fundraising for it. We will have also, all of you guys can and should fundraise. We're gonna lock the doors before you have fundraisers. Okay, we have different. We'll touch on it with Deb and a couple of events we have that will do some we'll have some fundraising and some fun things for us to do. But yeah, if you guys are all able to submit fund or donate, every dollar counts, really.
Yes, it does.
Deb, do you want to touch on the friends and family?
Let's see. See? Okay, where am I? 161 Jamaica, the Friends and Family Fundraiser. As you was told before, we have 3 committees. So right now we're doing a competition between each committee. And whichever committee raises the most money will get 3 tickets to our soiree. And of course, the CEO committee is on the charge, is leading the charge. As you can see, CEO committee, we've raised $1,625. Policy, advocacy, and organizing, PAO committee has raised $1,520. The LAS committee has raised $1,510. For people who weren't sure or were a member and didn't want to commit to one of the committees, the East New York CLT, we call them at large, the people, our members, they raised $805. So I'm going to continue to encourage everyone to give a donation, because this is our building that we're purchasing. When you leave from here, you can walk 2 doors down, 2 doors, yeah, right? And just look at the outside of the building and just envision what it could be like. I say, when I go out and I'm talking to people about the East New York CLT, I'm talking about home ownership, that you need to own. And then I go, well, damn. We don't even have our own space, So now when I'm out talking to people, when I tell them about ownership, community ownership, bringing the land back into the hands of the community, ownership, I can say, you know what, come on down to our office at 161 Jamaica Avenue. Come see what we're all about. And I just love being able to say that we have our own space. That's right.
Because if I'm telling you that you as a homeowner need to own yours or get involved with ownership, how can I tell you that when we don't have ours? So now I can proudly say, come on down to our office, So we need everyone. So to
your friends, your family, your company, your business, whomever, your niece and nephew, tell them break their piggy bank. No. But we need everybody to participate. We at 60%. I'm looking to do 150% of this funding. Because we not only need the money to purchase the building, there will be other expenses afterwards. So we need all the coins and, never mind the coins, we need all the crisp dollar bills. We need everybody to donate. Now, there's a special project going on. All right, Deborah, okay. There's a special project going on when it comes to 161 Jamaica Avenue. We've decided that we want to do something that will be in the building in perpetuity. I always say forever. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna create a wall. When you come in, you'll see tiles on the wall. So for everybody that donates $100, we'll get a tile. We're gonna have a tile party. You will paint, name, picture, whatever you want on that tile, and it will be placed on the wall at 161 Jamaica Avenue forever. $100 for a tile. So I'm looking for those $50 to start coming in. Let's do this. All right, I guess that's it.
Wait, did you say we're gonna have a party to paint the tiles?
Oh yes, I did. Did I say that?
Okay.
Oh, we will be having a tile painting party.
Yeah, so stay
And
tuned.
once we purchase the building and once we get our list together of everybody who has given $100, whether you give it to the CEO or LAS, whatever committee, as long as you give $100, we will contact you and let you know what date the tile party will be.
Okay.
All right? Anything else? That's it,
Give it up for Deb.
Have you, is it allowed, and have you reached out to, like, there's election coming, to some of the council people and the assembly people for assistance with donation?
Yes. Oh, great point. Yeah, we have reached out to, I think, every elected official for financing and like grants essentially. Some of the like city council members, borough presidents. There's a variety of grants, discretionary funding. So all of the elected officials, except for one, has shown interest. Has shown interest in like the project.
Reach out to?
Nah, don't worry. Has shown interest in like the project and has been super supportive.
The budget's together now.
I know. I think I can say this. I think we said it in our last meeting. But State Senator Julia Salazar has actually committed $1 million to that position of the project. And then we have some other things in the works from Congresswoman Nidhi Velasquez, Councilmember Sandy Nurse, Borough President Antonio Reynoso, State Senator Julia Salazar. Yeah. So regardless, we're going to do the acquisition, but after the building's going to need a lot of work to get it rehabbed, and up to what we want. Also, right now it's in fine shape, but we want it to be kind of like perfect long term, right? So whatever money, the funding that we get from the electeds will go towards either the acquisition or this like big rehab, similar to
Thank you.
Did you say that Julia Salazar donated 1-point-something million?
1 million, yeah.
She also helped us with raising money to purchase 248 Arlington. So she's been very instrumental in helping the East New York CLT with acquisition.
She's not cheap though. 1 million, that's a good donation.
Judith?
So I have a question. Is this building still have a mortgage on it?
So the goal is to not have a mortgage.
No,
on it.
this current building, 161 Jamaica Avenue, does it have a mortgage on it?
Currently?
Yeah.
The current landlord who owns it, he has a mortgage, but that gets like paid out as part of the purchase. Once we buy it, and his mortgage lender exits.
So is he gonna,
Okay, so when you purchase, is he gonna give you that interest rate that he currently has?
No, we're not taking on his mortgage.
Okay.
Yeah. That bank leaves
He pays
it.
Okay, okay.
He pays off his mortgage out
Okay.
of the purchase money that we give
Alright.
him for the building.
Okay, another thing, on the donation list, the sheet that you guys sent out, it doesn't have like a Zelle information to kind of send Zelle,
Oh,
which is an easier way to go to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I think at this time, our bank, if I'm not mistaken,
Doesn't allow.
Not taking some?
does not take Zelle.
Yeah, what bank is that?
I know a lot of people want to do Zelle.
Through the website.
Is it
They do
because-
Go right, directly to the website, yeah.
Yeah, you
Do
have
they
to
do cash out?
your card info into the website.
Into the website, yes.
Yeah, I think they do cash out.
Yeah, maybe we can, yeah.
I mean, our club had a bank, see, the bank never really takes Zelle, and we have to work with them, and they finally start doing Zelle. You know, it's much better a lot of times.
That would be great. Okay, last thing on 161. We're having a big fundraiser.
Sure, yeah, so we've been organizing with the Democratic Socialists of America, a few of their caucuses, the Afro-Socialists and Socialists of Color. Melanie is a part of the CBK branch, right?
CSC.
The CSC, right?
I'm
The Community
part of-
Solidarity Committee?
Yeah, I'm part of
So
North
she,
Brooklyn.
yeah, so she's been helping organize this event, which will be on Thursday, April 23rd, from 8 p.m. to 2 a.m. We're going to be showcasing some local talent. Jamel Burgess of East Brooklyn Archives is going to be DJing with a bunch of other folks. Al Scott, who's a co-founder of the CLT, will be emceeing. It'll be really fun. I don't think we have the website here to purchase tickets, but we'll send it out in the email that goes out.
Can you purchase tickets at the door?
You can also purchase tickets at the door, and no one will be turned away for lack of funds. We just want you all to have a good time and learn about this project. And I think the lowest tier is 30.
I think they're planning on making like community tickets at like 15 as well.
Oh, they just sent that.
Yeah.
I think it's good though. Every single dollar does.
Everything goes to the purchase of 161 Jamaica. Nobody is taking any money nowadays. They're offering the space for free. All of our talent are performing for free. This is a real community event. So
It's a house party.
It is a
y'all.
house party.
Calm down. A house party.
So come out and party with us so we can show you how the CLT really gets down.
Sorry, once again, it's the East Brooklyn Liberation Center. Is that the name? So that is, yes.
Oh, I
Important
should've said
point.
that.
Important point. So 161 Jamaica Avenue will be called the East Brooklyn Liberation Center. Liberation Center.
East Brooklyn Liberation Center.
My bad. Yeah, that's the name for it. Sorry, I've been trying to not say the name because there's like no. There's issues with like funding requirements. Like we can't say.
Other no.
So I haven't been saying. But yeah, this stuff with the federal government and stuff. Anyways, but yeah, the East Brooklyn Liberation, which does not apply.
Wait, let me ask, what made you come up with that name?
House party?
No.
Well, it's kind of there was a temporary name for the fundraising campaign that I think like Hannah and a few other members came up with, but I think once we purchase it, we'll like decide as a group if we want to maintain that name or like it doesn't have to stick forever.
Yeah.
But it might. We'll see.
Yeah,
I think that's a very good name.
I think it's good.
I think it's great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Liberation.
Okay, well then.
I think also, I think Boris mentioned this, but having it maybe be shortened also like as a nickname called the East, because in Bed-Stuy there used to be this like pretty historic community center, culture center called the East, which has since shut down. So it's a bit of an homage also.
Yeah.
Even though I love that, I can hear people saying, "We going to the East. Come on, y'all, let's go to the East."
Exactly. Okay.
Okay. Oh, what happened? I thought there was a slide for your book, Abby, but do you want to talk about it?
I'll just talk about it, yeah. Okay. So
And tell them there's gonna be homework for those who took the book. For the book report.
I'm so pleased that people took copies of the book.
Does someone have one that we can hold up?
Yeah.
Yeah, do you can we hold it up just so people can see what it looks like?
So I'm Abby. It's so great to see everybody here.
That's a big program.
Yes,
doing, like supporting Nicely, right, the citywide coalition of community land trusts. But I'm just here in my kind of individual role, to talk about my book for a second. So this is a novel. I've been working on it for 12 years, and yeah, it's coming out on April 21st. So what I'm really excited about to tell you is that it is, to my knowledge, the first novel with a main character who is a community land trust organizer. And it's set in Brownsville, right? So that's why it's called Livonia Chow Mein. It's about it sort of centers a family-owned Chinese restaurant on Livonia Avenue, and it takes place over the course of a century. It's about the relationships between that family and the Jewish residents and the African-American, Black, Latino residents of the area from from like 1910 to 2014 or so. So I wanted to tell you that there are going to be a bunch of events coming up, and if you haven't already gotten one of these, you're welcome to take. Specifically, I wanted to invite you all to, on Saturday, May 16th, there is going to be a book party at the Brownsville Heritage House on Mother Gaston. It's also going to be a community conversation on Black-Asian solidarity. So it's free, there'll be Chinese food, just come and enjoy the conversation. And Black and Asian New Yorkers are especially encouraged, although all people are welcome.
Let me take a picture.
Yeah, and yes, and the QR code is to RSVP. And then the other thing is that on June 18th, the Center for Brooklyn History in downtown Brooklyn, I'm working with them to organize a panel that's about self-determination and community control movements in Brooklyn. So I've already been talking to Hannah about it, but we are hoping to have an East New York CLT member on the panel. We are also hoping, it's so funny that the East just came up because we're hoping to have a member of the now, no longer continuing, but the East, this amazing freedom school in Bed-Stuy. We'll have a member of I bet many of you know about the Brownsville community control school movement in the 60s and 70s, so we'll have a member of that. So and I'll talk about my book, so hoping to invite you all, you can maybe hopefully come out and support your East New York CLT colleague on the panel. Yeah, and so the second, I don't have an RSVP link for that yet, but the second QR code, if you scan it, it will link to my newsletter so you can keep up to date about the book. And one more thing is that I would really love, I think, hearing especially about all these efforts to fundraise for 131, is that right? 161, sorry, Jamaica. I think it would be really cool if you guys want to partner at some point, maybe later in the year. I'd love to somehow use the book as a way to raise money for so amazing. Incredible work. And it's so real as opposed to the book, which is totally fiction. So thank you for your time.
Thank you. When the book comes out, where can we purchase it at?
Anywhere.
Online.
You can purchase it at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, if you want to support a local independent bookstore.
Right.
It should be at, you can ask them, like if they don't have it in stock, you can always ask them and they'll order it for you.
Are you doing a book signing?
Yes, so if you scan that second link, you'll see all the events. There's a few others, like there's one on Greenlight Bookstore on April 21st.
Okay, I'm not really a scanner, but I would say May 16th, June 18th, and I'll scan for you. Okay.
And I'll give you the information there. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Well, we have like 10 minutes before. We just want people to say any questions. Let me start. Any questions about anything? Are we, because in the next 10, 12 minutes, we're going to have a Zoom meeting with MST, which.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
So the next 10 to 12 minutes, we're gonna have a Zoom meeting with MST. Amalia will explain what MST is and their organizing work that they do. But before that, does anybody have any questions about the CLT and how to become a member and how to donate to 161? All right, no questions? Any questions, period? Go ahead.
So my question is, did you guys hear about the developers, which is called the Highland Park Commons, which is proposing to buy the monastery, which is on the historic block of Highland Boulevard by Highland Park? It is a $2.6 million property. The monastery used to house nuns. It's a Catholic institution. But the developers sent out an email. The email trackled on the social media stuff, and they want to meet with the community. They're proposing a 9-story building which will block out a lot of the sun and also the trees because it proceeds into Highland Park. How we want the CLT to get involved is to come out to this meeting, which is April the 15th, tax day, the last day to file your taxes, and also Jackie Robinson Day. It's important to come out because we know what these huge, luxurious buildings does. It raises the property value, and what Shatanu had mentioned about the rezoning, they want to propose to rezone that area. We can't afford to have no more rezoning because it's going to definitely increase the property taxes. Is going to also increase the rental. Right now it's $4,000 for a 1-bedroom. That does not make any sense. So what I'm going to do, just pass this around, take a picture. Someone typed the wrong date because I was putting these up. It's not March the 14th, it's April the 15th, which is next week, Wednesday. So just pass these around, take a picture of it. We're only as strong as the community that we support. And we have to support each other. It cannot just be a one group organization or another. We gotta support each other because we see what happens when we cannot agree. We got war going on, we got bombs, but we as a community can begin changing and taking control of our environment now.
Yes.
So I'm asking everyone who can come, do come. We know you got families, children. You might have to go to prayer meeting, whatever it is. Just come out and support, because it's not our meeting. These are the developers' meeting. And so we need to really raise it. If the media person could come out, we want to televise. We want to make sure that there's a record of them trying to say, hey, we want to rezone Highland Boulevard, and we want to take over the monastery. What they also do, they come into our communities, and they always target houses of worship. It is important, no matter what your worship is, if it's meditation, houses of worship always flourish our community because it missed our struggle. And it's just staying on top and persevering. We always come together. This is like a house of worship because you have one mind, you have one purpose, you have one goal, and you're building off your energy. Stop destroying our houses of worship. We need that in our community. So we're proposing that if we can, I don't know if y'all could raise $6 million. We got the big monastery over there, but try to purchase that piece of property along with Parks Department because it can be a youth center, community center, cultural arts center, a museum. You probably got about 5 minutes left. That's all I wanted to say. I'm gonna sit down. Thank you so much for having me having this platform. I'll let you guys finish it out. Take a picture. April 15th, not March the 14th.
So thanks, Tammy. Who here has heard of the MST or the Landless Workers Movement in Brazil? Anyone? I know we talked about it at the last onboarding, so if you were there, you have heard of it. Yeah. So yeah, this is a huge movement. They have nearly 2 million members, and they're organizing in Brazil to basically like take land. There's all this land in Brazil that's just like not being used, and they're organizing to take land. They're organizing for agrarian reform, like to grow their own food and like feed the people. And yeah, we have a lot to learn from them because they're a membership organization like us, and they're focused on community control of land. So the type of like their goals and their kind of like North Star is very similar to ours. And Yeah, and so Eny-Clt, who has been helping facilitate our member onboarding, coordinated with a few of her friends who live in Brazil and are members of this organization. And they're gonna join us now through Zoom just for like 30 minutes. They have an they'll be speaking in Portuguese, but they have an interpreter. And Eny-Clt prepared these questions for them. So we do have like just 4 panel questions that she'll be asking them, so that there's just like a little bit of structure for them to share. And then at the end, if we have time, or if people have like lingering questions, we might have a little time for like other questions that people have. But yeah, mostly just a space to be able to hear from them and hopefully be like inspired and maybe get some more ideas for our own organizing. Any questions before I set up the Zoom? If people need to take like a few minute break while I'm getting the Zoom set up, now would be the time. Or if you want to get water or anything.
So the CLT meeting is over?
No. Well, no.
Are you
Part of
going
the
into
meeting,
Zoom?
but if you need, yes.
Going into the, okay.
We're going into, yeah, so people will be joining us on Zoom, but it'll be up on
Tommy,
TV for
the exact date is in the stuff that you send on your WhatsApp. So you
Yes,
can let them
April
know.
15th,
So you
not
can let
March
them-
the-
so you
not
can
March
let them know.
14th.
It's on the CLT chat.
Yeah.
And they just resend it again.
Okay, thank you.
Actually, I was responding to you.
It'll take a second.
Yes, get ready for what's going on. Okay.
Thank you, okay, I appreciate it.
Yeah, I would try to
So
be
you're the
here.
one that signed up?
Well, it's like, it's not my place, because I'm gonna be honest, I
Yeah,
probably
but
other
just
than
send it
the
back to
fundraiser,
me.
barely doing it until the summer. But I'm clocking in.
And you can let them know that one is in your WhatsApp and it's the correct date.
Oh, I went to sleep. Did you listen to that album?
All right, everybody, Judith just introduced herself. I see people in the chat, but I don't know who's who. It says I really know you. But the meeting for the 15th is also on the East New York Community chat. That has the correct date. That is the actual letter from the developers trying to ease feelings. So thank you.
It'll be 7 p.m.
7 p.m. at the monastery. I would say come on out, but it's not March the 14th.
It's on the chat, so go to the
Somebody
chat.
messed up the date. Let's get out of here. It was nice.
We're back.
My glasses on, so you're okay. Nice and nice. Did you raise your hand for the membership?
I'm printing mine.
I'm just saying, well, like they spread it out, because you say class had the thing. Oh, that's it's nice to spread it out. So we have a lot of historical, that monastery should be historical. And so really, that's how you guys make it.
How are you, Judith? I'm good, I know.
The only reason why I came was
You do anything else? Yeah, when I actually Good Friday went to church, I'm United Methodist, so we have like a cluster church, which means certain churches in the district, we all come to one church, one building, and have the meeting at this church. And then I went to Easter service. Yes, so it was very nice, yeah.
He's always ready to give money to them.
And I get all upset by that.
And I'm the
It's really slow going. You have to do that. You did. Is this your seat?
I guess so, but
That's so bad.
Yeah. And I invited some other people, but they didn't show up. But now they close the library and they're planning now they might have to open it. So why?
Okay.
Before the time
No, because I'm
when they get in touch with the and she's an Allenton and she's the head of the book club. And so in order that she could order your book
What's the best way for me to get in touch with you?
I know she's there.
Oh, I just know the address. I want to know what it is. What looks like it.
Said she's there during the at the
So what we put in and then, book clubs are definitely the way to go.
Yeah, you said book club, a lot of people.
Hey, can you hear us? Can you try speaking? Oh, you're in the channel.
Did everybody sign?
So we'll be able to hear you
When you guys select the channel, like if you go to
Yeah,
English,
we got it now. We can hear you.
can you hear me in English?
Yeah, woo, we got it.
All right, perfect.
Hey, welcome. Sorry I couldn't hear anything earlier.
No, it's okay, it's okay. I'm glad we fixed all these technical issues already.
Okay, so let me just make this bigger and maybe I'll turn the computer so you can see. We have our members here in the room. Everyone say hi.
Hello, everyone.
Okay, and I think we're waiting for Angelis, right? Or-
Yes.
Okay, so we can wait a couple minutes.
Okay, I'll be on standby.
Okay, sounds good. And
yeah,
I'll-
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can see.
No, from this.
Yeah, the on the left? Yeah.
Next time if we have to use a room or something like that, we need to bring some bags or something to black out the window.
Sorry. Ram should have get some screen, just pull it out for us. Yeah. They can still add it. This is,
Yeah, this is Cypress. Sort of worried about my feet. They're kind of ready.
They're so thankful that there's 4 staff people now.
Yeah, we're working on another one.
Hey, Angelis, welcome. Everyone say hi, Angelis. Okay.
Good morning, happy Saturday, y'all. Hey, countries. Bom dia, Salete. Bom dia, para mim aqui já é boa tarde, mas boa tarde.
Good morning. For me over here, it's already good afternoon.
Yeah, we're ready. I'll pass over to you guys.
go for it and let me know if you need anything or if you want me to chime in.
Amazing. So I'll start in English and then I'll pass off to our guest to introduce herself. Is interpretation working, Selechi? Interpretação bom?
Não entendi.
Hendrix, maybe we need to do an interpretation. No. Selechi, will you, I must be.
Eu ouço bem?
Sim, ouço bem.
Eu ouço bem, ouço muito bem e vejo vocês dois, Henry e Ângeles, na minha frente e uma sala de aula muito bonita.
They're saying that everyone in the classroom is really beautiful. Just so y'all know, we're getting all love. Henry, so I'm gonna have you hop off interpretation line so that we can explain interpretation. Hold tight, folks. We're gonna get started in like 2 minutes here. Make sure that we have everybody set up.
Thanks for your patience.
Hey.
Hey, sorry.
We're doing a screenshot, so everyone looks really excited.
Oh.
A screenshot? We are, right? Yeah.
Chose the wrong one.
Oh, well, I know how to do that.
Me escuta agora?
Ouço bem.
Stalete, se você pode ir no menu, na área embaixo, onde diz More ou Mais, deixar uns 3 botões e pressiona Language Interpretation, interpretação de idioma, e seleciona português e finalizado para você poder me escutar no canal de interpretação.
Fiz isso.
I think they may be seeing the world, the globe.
Sim, ouço.
Angeles, we're good to go.
Good? Both? Awesome.
Sim, ouço bem.
Also bang. So Henry, will you unmute and should I mute our guests when you're translating simultaneously? Okay, because I hear our guests, but I don't hear you when you interpret, by the way.
Can you hear me now in the English channel?
Yes.
Oh, unless, let me
Yes.
go to English line? Okay, okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Yes, okay, we're good to go. So Amalia, this is how we're gonna do it. I'm gonna need someone next to the computer, just ready to go.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Perfect. So, good morning, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon. Happy Saturday, everyone. In a moment, am going to start us off for our exciting session today. You have an incredible guest here who I will ask for clear pronunciation on the name shortly. But just for interpretation purposes, when our guest is speaking, Amalia, that would be your cue to go to the globe and hit the English line. That way everyone in the the CLT can hear what our guest is saying through that line. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So is there any reason it can't just be on English the whole time?
I would say maybe.
Yeah, stay in English.
Okay.
Yeah, stay in the English channel the whole time. Just keep yourselves muted so you'll be able to hear it.
Our guest's original introduction, and then we, just to say hello, and then we can switch to all of it. Sound good?
Okay, so I should turn it off now for the intro?
Yeah, if that's okay, Henry. And then let's just do introduction first. Well, good afternoon. We have, I think, 30 to 40 minutes maximum for this conversation. Raise your hand, people in the room who were part of the last, the second onboarding retreat with the membership onboarding process, who was there, or the first one, if you were there. I see some hands. Okay, I see some familiar faces. I'm sorry I'm not there with y'all today. In the last retreat, we got to watch a video of the MST, Movimiento Sin Terra, an incredible, massive grassroots operation that our guest here represents and will be happy to speak to you all about. In the last session, we covered 3 questions that we'll ask our guest, and then from there, if we have time, we'll open to more discussions. Henry's, at this point, I would love our guests to introduce themselves just briefly in their language, in Portuguese, and then we'll switch to the English line. And it would be great to allow you some time after their introduction to translate, and then we'll move into panel. Does that sound good for everybody here?
Yes.
Cool. I know we can't really hear each other, but can I just get a round of applause for our guests? Yes. Un aplauso. Yes. Gracias. Okay, so Hendrix, I would love to have you ask our guests to introduce themselves briefly, and then we'll jump into the questions.
Muito bem, boa tarde. Eu me chamo Salete Carolo. Eu sou assentada num projeto de reforma agrária no assentamento Hugo Chaves, Lagoa do Junco, no município de Tapes, na província do Rio Grande do Sul, Brasil. Então, eu estou no sul do Brasil, na mesma província ou no mesmo estado, em que há 41 anos o Movimento Sem Terra ele foi constituído. Faço parte deste assentamento.
Obrigada. Vamos a traducir rápidamente. Obrigada. Un aplauso a todos
Eu entendi que era simultâneo.
Después de esta y ahora simultáneo, después. Pero queríamos escuchar você primero. Sorry, I'm learning my bad Portuguese. All right, Henry's pass to you. We can switch to English, Amalia. Obrigada, Salete.
Thank you.
So my name is Eny-Clt Carolo. I've been part of this movement for about 41 years. This movement started as a fight for our belonging, and I'm just very glad to be here and to be part of this roundtable.
Okay, so let's jump into our first few questions. Can folks hear me okay?
Yeah.
You might need like a sign of life or a thumbs up. Beautiful. Okay, great. Thank you all for being patient with global interpretation services and our organizing. Look at the organizing we're building from East New York to Brazil. Salete, for the MST, what are the most essential elements for building a powerful local campaign? So campaigns in a certain community or a certain region, what are the most important pieces of building that power?
Bom, o Movimento Sem Terra...
The movement Sem Terra comes from a need, which was the land in order to work, in order to live, is to produce the existence of this family. This need, this human need, to be able to access the land as an instrument and space to live, that she is the first mobilizing element and organizing element of solidarity, of support, of who understands that human beings who have a need and organize themselves and fight for that need, it's a justice. It makes part of social justice to support and defend its cause. So the first element for mobilization is recognizing that this subject that has a need needs to organize and fights for that need. And that's legitimate, it's just, it's transformative, and it's humanitarian. The second element that is very important in local mobilization is to bring into center the humankind. Humankind, not that it's out there doing nothing, but a human being that has a life project, and this life project has, in its essence, has a conscience, a conscience of class, a conscience of being, and a conscience of policy and politics. That's why this consciousness is going to maintain this group, this subject, organized and mobilized. The third element is the strategic perspective of this fight. It's not to just fight to conquest the land, but it's to build from the land that we've taken, to build a project of agriculture that is sustainable, that has 3 dimensions that are fundamental, which are agriculture as the way to move forward, the production of healthy foods for itself and for the local population and for the Brazilian society. And the third element that is fundamental and that is within the production of healthy foods is to give a function, a social function to the land, to give it the function to produce food and healthy food in the perspective of the sovereignty to feed, and also to projecting here this organization, which is a project of a new society, which is what we are seeking for every human being to live with dignity, could have their life complete, could have food, could have their community and their space to live. I think that these are elements that are fundamental of a mobilization, of a local mobilization. And you all in the United States for many years understood that very well, that a civil organized society, you understood the sense of these elements.
Obrigada. Amalia and East New York CLT staff, if questions are coming up in the crowd as they're going, let's just feel free to note them and then we'll tackle them all at the end. If there's anyone taking notes or wants to pass around note cards, that could be a good idea to collect questions. Henry Sinsalete, I hope it's okay that I intervene with one quick follow-up question. And then I may ask if we can maybe slow down so we can capture, there's so much gold in what you just shared, but we may want to slow down just a bit more so we can get all those little details. Real quick, Salete, will you share with us maybe the 3 biggest wins of the MST for the people in the room before we move to the other questions?
As 3 maiores vitórias.
The 3 greatest victories, the 3 greatest conquests that we had was first, that over 500,000 families that fought for land, we were able to conquest that land. So see, the movement Sem Terra is the greatest in the first conquest. We conquest the land, we conquest an organization, and in consequence of that, we were able to advance to our second conquest. We were able to advance the political project of society that we want to build. Why? Because the movement Sem Terra comes about and is born out of fruit of a concentration of land. 1% 1% within 47 has 47% of the land in Brazil, 45 to 47% of Brazil, land of Brazil. Brazil is a country in the world in the greatest level of social inequality when it comes to the concentration of the land. In that sense, we have 90% of Brazilians who are agricultural workers that have a smaller area when it comes to the land. So when we conquest with those 500,000 families, the greatest conquest was, the greatest victory was, the greatest victory is to conquest, then is to reaffirm. Second is to reaffirm that the reform in Brazil, it's necessary for us, not so that we can also focus on the land, but also to strengthen and bring more dignity for millions and millions of people. MST in those 41 years, we learned that to conquest the land, which is our main objective, is not enough. We need to advance in the implementation of reform, in popular reform in Brazil. Today in Brazil, popular agrarian reform, and it's in the federal constitution, we were able to accomplish that in the constitution in 1978, which was the statute of the land, and then we advanced in the law of reforma agraria, and that law was political incidents, which was two field workers. So it was it was a great conquest. So today, if we want to end hunger in Brazil, the strategy goes by implementation of agraria reform, which is not just land, which is not just to distribute land, is that on top of that land or by that land to implant our political project of agriculture by the agricultural workers. And that type of project has taken us today to be those agriculture that produces and mass produces the Brazilian market. 60% of the food that goes to the table of every Brazilian, regardless of their social class, including the rich, consume. They're the ones that consume the most our food because they're free of toxins, free of slave labor. Our food are healthy, they're nutritious. So it is this project of agriculture that has the pillars in the cooperation in agriculture, in the insertion of women and value of women. We have that dimension of cooperation that passes through human relationships between us. No one is on top of the other. The relationship that happens with the agricultural project, which is a relationship with nature, which is relationship with water, which is relationship with the jungle, preserving our environment, the building of our buildings, of our homes, of our houses, our industries, our agro industries in a sustainable way without destroying nature, without destroying the environment. So those for us are the greatest conquests. Of course, you could ask me, or maybe it'll come in the next question, what are the challenges? Many challenges, so many challenges, and from different levels. But I would say that these three are the greatest conquests, the greatest victories we've had. Today, we maintain ourselves mobilizing, organizing over 100,000 families who live in the fields. Next week, we would have the national reform of Reforma Agraria, which is the occupation of land, which is a way of us pressure the government so that they can do this appropriation of land, and to make the agraria reform is going to happen from north to south, east, and west of Brazil. Besides that, on the 17th of April, which is the international fight of the people for the land, for agraria reform, is the day that we are going to remember and not just celebrate. To celebrate is the resistance of Saint Terra, but we want to remember the impunity of the massacre of Tiandorado dos Carajás in the curve of the east in Pará, which is a state of a lot of agricultural conflict. There we want to remember the need of doing this reforma agraria and the impunity of those who did all that massacre. The person that sends for the execution, the person who executed the executions.
Hey Molly, I see you.
Yeah, thanks so much. I don't know if I'm now making Jean-Marie translate opposite, so I'm sorry. But I just wanted to say that I'm seeing like a lot of parallels with our work, and I don't know if other people in the room are too, of like I think what was mentioned about like it's not just about taking the land, or in our case, I guess buying the land, seizing the land, but also about like creating a policy environment and like fighting for other parts of like policy and.
Slow down briefly, Molly. Slow down just a bit.
Sorry.
Keep going. No, it's okay.
So yeah, I think there's just a lot of similarities with how we're doing the work, and also that really amazing number. Was it 500,000 families that have been like given land through this movement? So I heard some reactions in the room to that number, and I think it's really amazing.
I'll add to that, just to give some scale to what Cy-Lit is saying and sharing. The MST is the largest social movement in Latin America. Over 2 million people are engaged or identify with the MST. Amalia just said it, 500,000 families, and Cy-Lit shared it. They have homes, and they are self-producing healthy food. And then they are sustaining the movement and their communities and their selves. I'm not sure what the term would be that the MST uses, but the land that's been seized, so when she says conquest, it's like seizing, right? And they've established their homes and communities and settlements of sorts, where there's education and direct responses to the poverty, especially in indigenous communities, as Celita mentioned. But yeah, let's just like sit with those numbers. 2 million people around the country, a country that Celita shared is deeply marked by inequity when it comes to race, class, and language in ways that, as Amalia said, East New York is too. And then I will just recap, the MST had a pivotal role in the national elections and in making sure that Bolsonaro did not win again, and instituting a more leftist institution that they also hold accountable, president, I mean. And then it was important to share that Cy-Lit was speaking to also not commemorating but honoring the lives of indigenous leaders that have been murdered by the state. So there's this awesome principle that the MST brings around accountability and building power, moving electeds into positions of power, and at the same time not being afraid to act on the state. So just noting that for the work here. Obrigada, Cy-Lit. Our folks, Amalia, did you want to circle back on anything, or should we move to the last two for time?
I think let's move on, yeah.
Cool. Henry's going to ask the last two questions. Cy-Lit, I want to leave this open to you. We only have maybe 5-10 minutes left. Whatever you feel you would like to share with this group, who is also fighting to seize buildings for their community, in one way we could put it that way. So how does the MST cultivate a culture of collective ownership when it comes to housing. You've spoken to that some, but how do you build that identity when you are organizing to take over land? How do you sustain the movement? How does the MST sustain itself financially? That was a question that came up. And then if you have any advice for the people in this room that are looking to other models of generational ownership and changing the way we look at property, what words of advice would you offer people here?
Na verdade, não
The
gostaria.
truth is that I would not like to give an advice, but I would like to share and invite you all to dream together. All of us in the movement Sem Terra, from the beginning, we are people who are dreamers. And we don't run, we organize collectively. This is the key. The key of any success of an organization that organizes human beings according to their needs. We could work with 3 dimensions, 3 fundamental dimensions. The first one is that it is important for us to socialize and share our needs and organize. And if we organize around what it means not to find my land or my home or my house, but how can we do that together? That implies in defining clear strategies and clear targets and objectives, short and long term. MST, when it was developed, it developed 3 objectives: the fight for the land, which for some could be in the urban lifestyle or in the city, the fight for a home, and then we advanced for the fights for the agrarian reform, which is how we organize the process through cooperatives, through agro industries, through incidents in the market. And the third is the question of the political formation. So organizing a movement that has a zeal for the organization, for the political organization, defining your objectives and strategies. Second is the mobilization to build these fights, to acquire these rights collectively. And the third element, fundamental element, is political formation, which you are doing today, is formation to elevate our level of consciousness. We cannot elevate the level of consciousness of an individual. We can elevate the level of consciousness regardless of where they are in the world. If you don't have an organization and a fight, you won't be able to do it. It is the fight that keeps forging our conscience. It is the strategy of that which we want to build. So those elements, regardless of where we are at, they are fundamental. But there's another dimension that is very important. We cannot do this alone. The movement Sem Terra is not alone. It's not alone anymore. We articulate ourselves for many years because we perceived that the reality of the indigenous peoples in Brazil is the same reality in Argentina, in Paraguay, in Latin America, in the whole world. Today, we are articulated in the call for Via Indigenous with over 110 countries. That is not a work of an organization alone. It's a dimension of a political analysis of the joint work where we understand that the capital, in its essence, in its structural crisis, that the patriarchy is one of the elements of the structure of this capital that we need to destroy, and principally that is articulated by us women. We need to destroy the patriarchy. The same sequences that this capital does in Brazil, it does it all over the world. So therefore, the fight is not just a local fight, it is an international fight. And that is why we have a chant that says, let us globalize the fight. Let us globalize the hope. And that chant is not just for the indigenous peoples. It's for every working class people that need to organize for your needs, for your home, for your work, for your education, for access to knowledge in the scientific world. And in MST, we learn that occupying access to land is one, but after we conquest the land, we need to organize and fight for the other rights that we have the right, guaranteed right to, which is access to knowledge. Today we have over 4,000 young people who are studying in college universities, graduating, masters, doctorates, being teachers in universities and in colleges. We have a dimension of healthcare. So today we have over than 2,000 doctors who received their doctor's degrees in Cuba, here in Brazil, Argentina. We have a program that is Habitat, which I coordinate, which we have over 41,000 homes in Habitat for Humanity that we are doing this fight as the government in order so that we can build our own homes. So the government gives us that credit to build our own homes. We have engineers, we have architects, we have lawyers, we have over 5,000 agronomers and agricultural technicians who were educated in our schools, over 3,500 young people that did a technical degree in agricultural in our schools, agricultural work in our schools, and all of that is the result of an organization that looks at the indigenous people and projects upon them human dignity, and all of that in the urban sense. And for the building of other movements is a reflection, and it demands more and more in each dimension. And to just conclude and not to continue, how is it that we keep the structure? Oh, there is an element in Habitat that we adopted as our philosophy of conducting our work, which I coordinate, that a habitat is not just for homes, it's not just for your house, it's more than that. It's everything that surrounds your territory, and that needs to be considered, integrated. The gender dimensions, how is it that you integrate the youth in this process? How is it that you integrate and strengthen the perspective of gender, relationships between genders? How is it that you give visibility, integral visibility to the LGBTQIA plus community, recognizing that they also have the rights to have their land, and that land needs to be in their land. We are not the principal actors in Brazil. We are the principal actors in Brazil to break this, the negating of this right. And it started by two of our lesbian colleagues that our movement banked them and said that we need to be recognized. And because of this conquest and this victory, today is no longer a problem for us, for MST. Automatically, they are recognized.
Então, nessa dimensão assim,
So in that dimension,
vejam que a luta
you could see that the
é
fight
unidade.
comes with unity. So from the beginning, we always organize collectively. And we organize the collective because the collective gives us assurance. It is the collective that gives us the greatness of our victories. And it is in the collective that we see our exit out of our difficulties, especially our financial difficulties. It's not easy to maintain an organization when you have the negated rights from the state. So solidarity, international solidarity, it was fundamental in order to support our mobilization. So I wanted to pass this message over to you all. Organize, have discussions, fight, and elevate the level of consciousness that surely you are going to transform, just like we did. You're gonna have a better place in the world to live. You in your own places are going to transform it into the best place in the world to live.
East New York, the best place in the world.
Thank you, muito obrigada, muito inspiradora. Wow, folks, you heard it directly from leadership of the MST themselves today. Organize, build power, shift and elevate consciousness. When we talk about elevating consciousness and what that looks like, it goes what you're doing now. It goes to what you're doing now to build power for shifting material conditions. So the MST is seizing land, building homes, sending people off to be educated, creating autonomous infrastructure, shifting political institutions at scale, nominating and electing presidents. But that all starts with the work that is being done in this room. The political education, the popular education, knocking on people's doors, that one-on-one training we did just a couple weeks ago, talking to people one-on-one, literally listening and then moving them to take action, even if they're scared, even if they're hopeless, even if they think that things aren't possible. It is possible, and you have an amazing example of what's possible with a leader like Eny-Clt on this call today. So thank you so much. Muito obrigada, Eny-Clt. We're so inspired and very grateful to you, and wish you the best of luck in the class.
If you can allow me, I want to conclude this with you guys with part of a poem that help us to enrich the dreams of a new society versus the elections that we're going to face this year, and we're going to win. It doesn't matter if Trump wants to be the owner of the country, we are the owners of our country. And the thought is this: the dominating class does not fear weapons. The dominating class, they fear in the presence of women and men who dream. Because to dream is to denounce the established order. We are 2 times more dangerous because we dream and because we organize the dream. Thank you very much.
Muito obrigada.
Thank you, Hendrix.
Lembrar a vocês que o nosso arroz agroecológico Terra Livre.
I want to remind you that our Terra Libre, it's already in the United States, going to our friends in the United States in great containers. Big ol' hug to you all.
We're going to take a screen
Okay.
Wait, let me take one more. Let's take one more.
I'll take it on my computer too.
Okay.
Everybody put their fist up.
Yeah, you take it, Uncle Liz. Thank you. Okay.
Bye.
I need some water.
Okay. Cool. What did everyone think?
Get rid of the patriarchy.
And yeah, I think that's a wrap on our meeting too. So. Oh, if people, we also can share back out the video about the MST that we watched, and like, I know we didn't have time to ask questions in the group, but if people are interested in learning more, maybe we can share like some more resources for them. Yeah. Oh, sure.
On April 23rd, that's a Thursday at 12:30, we are having a protest outside Gracie Mansion because Mayor Mamdani said that he was going to drop Mayor Adams' lawsuit against the implementation of city debts. He hasn't done it, and so we're trying to push him to get him to do that, because he actually, I'm a member of Vocal, and he came to our offices and told us he was going to drop that lawsuit, and he hasn't done it. His excuse has been that he needs to balance the budget, but he can't balance the budget on the backs of homeless people.
There you go.
That's right.
That's right.
So that's Thursday the 23rd at 12:30 at Gracie Mansion.
Busy weekend.